YouTube.com/MugenLord. Subscribe to the channel for gaming news, updates, discussion, and live streams. Signing off.
Hey guys, it's MugenLord here.
Kill Lancer here.
The Extract.
And we're back again with another Game Fiend discussion. And today we're going to be talking about the Bravely Default demo that was released on the Nintendo Switch. It was created by Square Enix. And I just don't know what it is. Square Enix may be back to what it originally used to be as a company back during the SNES era when we had all these amazing RPGs. And they pretty much shadow dropped Bravely Default demo. I did not expect Bravely Default 2 to even have a demo at all. They dropped it when we had that mini direct that also that Nintendo just shadow dropped on us. So we played the demo. From our experience, we definitely want to just have a discussion about it, give you our overall impressions of it. So we're gonna start off with DX Strike. Give us a summary of what you played the demo and what you think of it.
Was it when I played it? I'm not, like I said before, I'm not really a turn-based.
He's young generation when it comes to these RPGs.
I'm not really a turn-based person, even though growing up, I watched them play a lot of those a lot. So I have played a few, but this one, it's really good. It wasn't something that it wasn't something that turned me off as far as the mechanics and stuff like that. But the game was really hard, and I was like, yo, I don't think I can get this game. I don't think I can get this game, but it's very intricate. Especially when it comes to the bravery points and the whole default mechanic, that I was dying from basic enemies. That's how intricate the system was. But after a while, as I started getting the hang of it, I started to really like it. Whatever, it's still not my cup of tea, because I feel as though for me to have be really into turn based, it has to have something that appeals to me. Whatever,
yeah.
But is a really good game, and if you're in the turn base, you will love it, especially when you go into the job system, which is it would be a nostalgia thing for y'all guys.
Yeah.
As far as what they did in the old Final Fantasy games, and I think it's pretty cool.
Well, for me, this was basically going back in time for me. I played a lot of turn-based games, especially watching MugenLord when I was very young, play turn-based, and that pretty much got me into turn-based. And from playing this game, I'm like, wow, this game is really good. But the moment I got out of that doggone village, I said, yo, what the heck? This is not like any other turn-based game I played. As DX Strike was saying, I was getting decimated by regular enemies. But as I got a handle on these enemies and learn how to use my bravery points, I was like, okay, now I know how to structurize my attacks and stuff. And I have to say, when it comes down to the job system and the sub-job system, it took me back to the Final Fantasy 11 battle system where, class system, where you had your main job and you had your sub-job. Basically, your sub-job is basically a job that you used previously, and you can use some of the abilities from that particular job that you had before. It's just pretty much like half of that job where you can use some of the skills. In your main job, you use everything that your main job has to offer, which is the base of your character's class. And I just thought that aspect was really neat, and it just felt like I was at home. It felt like I was going back into the 11 days. What do you think, MugenLord?
Oh man, I enjoyed every last bit of it. Now this is the thing, I clocked into 3 to 4 hours into that demo. It's been a while since I actually sat down and actually played in a really good RPG besides Xenoblade. So you can check out my Xenoblade review of Xenoblade 2. Definitely need to check that out. But besides Xenoblade invigorating my hype and joy and passion for JRPGs, this is another one that's going to do the same for me, because I didn't expect to invest that much time into a demo. I love it has that old school turn-based feel, Final Fantasy feel too, with the class system, the world map where you're able to explore, and I also love the overall visuals. I love the character models that they have for it. It has that chibi art style similar to when it was released on the Nintendo 3DS.
Like a storybook.
Yeah, like a storybook, and they pretty much Octopath Traveler too. They mix that all together, which I think is pretty cool, and I like that is its own thing. It's not going for the realistic flashiness of Final Fantasy VII Remake or any other Square Enix JRPG title that they have out right now, and I think that it will pretty much stand the test of time since it is on the Nintendo Switch. So it makes sense to even have a graphical style like that, because it will age pretty well. It will age like fine wine. But we want to step right into the actual overall what we think about it, the gameplay itself. We want to dive right into it. Now, for starters, when I stepped into the game, the first thing I did into the demo was step into the menu system to see what they have going on, like your typical JRPG. And the first thing I did notice that they had the job system. Now I have the original Bravely Default, the first game that came out on the.
Open that joint.
I opened it. I played a little bit of it, but the thing was, the reason why I couldn't get into it because I'm not a handheld guy. I bought it and then ended up playing it. And like, oh, okay, I like it, but I just can't sit down and play handheld all day. I just can't do it. So. I seen the job system, seen it at the main job, sub job. I said, okay, this is familiar territory. Let's dig right into it. And what I did was I made Seth, who's one of the main protagonists of the 4 characters. I made him into a vanguard, which is pretty much like a paladin and everything, and
I did the same thing.
Yeah, and made him pretty much his sub job a freelancer. So what you pretty much do is each time you battle the enemies, your job gain level. You get your job gain experience points, which allows you to level up your job. Your job also has its own ability once you reach certain levels and stuff, and you're able to take those passable abilities and equip them on your characters.
Yep.
So overall, like, what do you thought about the bravery system? Because that's where this game is called Bravely Default. So you have like a brave and you have a default. So explain a little bit about the brave and the default.
Now the brave system, which was basically new to me since I've never played a Bravely Default game, so this was my first one. So when I jumped on and jumped into a battle, I'm like, okay, so my bravery points, I can store my bravery points by using the default system, which basically allows me to block. That's what the default system is.
So your default is like you're pretty much your guard.
Yeah.
So each time you guard,
that kind of confused me at first.
Like, that's what it does. Like you hit default, and when you wait your turn, you get BP, which is brave points or whatever.
So pretty much when you block, you get brave points, and it goes up to 3. So pretty much what
that's only for the demo, because the demo I think said only 3. It goes, you can go higher than it gave you when the game started, it tells you get up to
and the main character.
That's what I said. This game's gonna get nasty when the real game comes out.
And the main character was the only one that could do a special.
Yeah, and the main character was the only one that's able to do the special in the demo.
His special actually gives everybody else pretty much stats.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That's when they glow.
Everybody
that's
body
how I was
glow.
able to defeat the boss. But usually using the default system to block, you get BP points. As they said, you pretty much can go up to like 3 points. So by me going up to 3 points, I'm like, okay, I could do special tasks. By you using all 3 of your points, you could be able to do different actions. Within those actions, you're setting your character to do like a tag. You can tell him to use a magic. You can tell him to use a special skill. But they do have specific moves where you have to use BP. So basically what I was doing, I turned my girl into a monk. So she has a special move that requires 1 BP. So what I would do is I would use 2 BP to do a boost of attack to like boost her critical up, and allow her to do a regular attack, and then use the other BP to use like a crowd hitting attack that'll hit all the enemies.
Yeah.
Which I found.
Cake.
Yeah, it's a good technique to allow you to hit everyone, and also it does critical when you put the critical joint on too, which I find that fascinating. But when you're using the Vanguard, when it comes down to BP, that's when you want to be more defensive with them and more so protect your teammates. So when it comes down to the BP system, you want to be mindful of how you use your BP, because it's very, very, very important, especially noting the bosses can use BP as well. So you got to be careful.
So like, did you have any like strategies that you tested going into it?
Now the strategy I had was I will put 2 of my teammates on the default or in the blocking stance. So I will most likely put what's his name, Elvis. I put Elvis, and I think the other girl's Adele. Yeah, I'll put them 2 on default, and then I'll have Seth and Gloria. I'll have them attack and stuff like that. And the reason why I did that is because most of the time, the goblins and was it ogres?
Yeah, ogres.
The goblins and the ogres, most of their weaknesses was fire.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do like a double effect. Now, Elvis's regular attack sucked. It only goes into the 2-digit numbers.
What was his class?
I had him on Black Mage.
Okay.
Yeah. So it just felt like he had to be Black Mage.
I had him in Black Mage
also
too. I had Gloria and
stuff too.
I had Gloria as my white mage.
Yeah. So I would have him gain like bravery points, and I'll have him do most of the damage. And since I had Adele on default, since I knew she had more so like a crowd control attack where she hit the whole crowd. I'll more so put her on was it the default stance, whatever. So she'll hit all enemies, and then I'll just have Seth and them just clean up, whatever. Now for some reason, Gloria, where her regular attack, she was taking like it would say vulnerable. She would just take criticals every single time with just her regular attack.
What weapon?
Did you put her on moment?
You said Gloria?
Gloria is the white mage.
Yeah.
The white mage.
Yeah.
Whoa, Gloria?
You was hurt. You was taking damage just
Yeah,
by regular attacking.
Regular attacks, yeah, regular attacks.
Oh,
I
wow.
was,
You do know she gains MP when you use her to attack.
yeah.
No,
So-
I hardly ever use her attack. She just did. She stuck to protecting, healing, and whoever was
That's how I
hurt.
was getting my MP back.
Because the thing was, I'm like, she doesn't really have any other thing besides cure, and whatever, which just starting off with what she has. So I was like, all right, the only thing I can do is there's really no point for real, unless somebody's hurt to put her on default. So I was like, really no point. And I was like, I'm gonna just attack her, this regular attack. And I was seeing like, yo, every time I attack this ogre dude or this goblin, vulnerable pops up. Vulnerable's popping up for her more than any other character. And then I'll just have Seth and her just clean up after I get them.
Wow, that's an interesting take. Because what I did was, since she was the white mage, Gloria.
Yeah.
What I did with her was I made her a BP horde. Like I always kept her at max BP.
Yeah.
So when the enemies did something
what I
like
did.
real crazy to us, I can just stack all the BPs
Oh,
into
that is
all
a-
the heals and
that's a
stuff
good
like that.
strategy.
So that's the only way I was able to do it. And another strategy that I had was, especially once I pretty much maxed out freelance with Seth, when freelancer, they have the ability where you can give your BP to somebody else.
Yeah.
So what I did was, especially when you encountered the boss of the demo, which is the thief, and he was hard. Like I lost him like 3 times until I figured it out, because every attack that he did, he was healing about 300 to 400 to 1,000 each time he hit you.
Man, this dude was
That's
broke.
So
crazy.
what I did was I discovered, like, wait a minute, he's vulnerable to lightning. And Elvis, he was maxed out as a black mage. So every time I hit him with the lightning, I was taking 1,000 from him. And he had like 20,000, 28,000 hit points, I believe it was.
Yeah.
So once I discovered that, I said, wait a minute. I said, I already mastered Freelancer and Vanguard with Seth. And the same thing with Adele. Same thing, I mastered them both. So what I did was I put Seth back to Vanguard and had a sub job as Freelancer. Because when you're a sub job, you get those traits to your main job. They cross over to each other. So I noticed what I did was, when you at a certain level with Vanguard, you get the ability to pretty much, when you hit them, it knocks down their magic defense with one attack, and there's another attack that take down their physical. So what I did was I would get Seth up to like 3 BP.
Yeah.
I would use both of those attacks, took down his defense, physical defense, and took down his magical defense. Then what happened was I would have Adele share her BP, give to Elvis, so he had 3 BP. So when you get to him, he don't have to default. I would stack all 3 BP of straight Thundera.
Yeah.
So each Thundera hit was taking like 1,500 per hit.
Dang.
And I would have Gloria, since she's, like I said, she's my BP horde. I cast protect on everybody. So when he did that ability, that when he attacks, that heals, it wasn't healing him by 300, it was healing him by like 25 and 80, because we had protect on it.
Wow.
That's the episode. And once I figured that out, I was like, oh man, like it's gonna be it's a lot of strategy to this game. And then once you get once you pass that 3 BP, like cap level, where you can have more BP. So there's a whole lot of strategy to this. You have to think like 4 or 5 steps ahead.
Definitely gotta be a tactician.
And also too, you can actually go into the negative. Like you can spend.
Now, how does that work? Because I went to the negative. I'm like, all right, what's the backlash?
The ramifications mean it skips your turn.
Yeah.
So you have negative
okay.
1. You won't.
And
It's going to skip you for
restore
negative 1. So you can spend BP that you don't have, and you go straight into the negative.
But I think you can use the BP and give it to somebody else to get them out of the
Oh
negative.
you can.
Wow.
You can do that. Like I said, like that. It's a lot of strategy to it, man. It's like a lot of strategy. There's a lot here. Especially if you haven't played any traditional type of role-playing games and this is your first game, it can be quite difficult, especially if you haven't played anything like this before. But overall, I enjoyed it. Like, what do you guys think of it?
Well, I pretty much enjoyed it. I'm not going to say this is for everybody, especially for the newcomers, the young people to this game. I don't suggest this for you right off the bat. Play another RPG before you play something like this
to get you into it.
to get the concept of turn-based.
Yeah, to get your feet wet.
People like me and MugenLord, we've been playing these type of games for years.
Yeah. Like I mean, like I've been getting into RPGs for years now. I want to really get into turn-based. Like I said, I'm getting Haven because I like the spin they have on turn-based as far as that.
That's easy. That's an amazing game.
But I mean, I'm not going to get it as soon as it drops. But if I want, I'm thinking I probably might get it eventually and play it because it is a really good game. Where like I'm not really into turn-based, but I like how I was strategizing things and putting things together, and I think that's where the fun really comes in. So yeah.
So like overall, I enjoyed it, and like I said, the demo's up for you guys to give it a try yourself. And what Square Enix is doing, which I appreciate what they're doing, is they're asking for feedback, like they did with Octopath Traveler. Like after you play the game, you can actually submit feedback, so they know what to adjust, what they should switch up and everything. And the fact is that we know that it's coming out this year.
Yep.
I believe. And I'm looking forward to it. This is definitely a game that I'm gonna have in my.
Also, I'm gonna let everybody know too. Like Square, when it comes down to these RPGs, like they just got finished kicking out the Bravely Default demo. Square has also announced some other RPGs that will be coming out later this year.
We're definitely going to be discussing that.
I'm just going to say the name of the games, like Nier Replicant, and we got the Nier cell phone game. But we'll save that for another discussion once we get more information. I think it'll be something.
It's definitely cool to talk about. But that pretty much wraps this video up. I definitely want to hear your thoughts. We definitely want to hear your thoughts on what you thought of the Bravely Default demo. If you have tried it, if you haven't tried it, I suggest you go try it. It doesn't hurt to just try it. It's a demo. You know, you lose nothing for trying it. And if turn-based is something that you've never tried before, give it a try and see if it's something that you'll grow, I guess you say, a liking to and everything. But don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to these two guys' YouTube channel, because they have their own individual YouTube channel. I'll post that in the link in the description below. Check them out. If you like it, subscribe. Tell them MugenLord sent you. I'll also have an invite to the Discord, so you can join the Discord and chat it up with the Discord family. So that wraps this up. Don't forget to hit the bell to be notified. This is MugenLord.
Kill Lancer.
The X-Strike.
Sign off. See you Game Fiends later. Peace out. It looks like you reached the end of the video. Well, while you're at it, check out some of my other discussion videos by clicking on the annotations below. And don't forget to follow me on other social media platforms to stay up to date with future content. Signing off.